Welcome to another episode of La Coalición. I'm here joined by our friends and a very special guest, Suze, who is going to accompany us for today. So I wanted to just introduce you to these two wonderful people who have graced us with their presence today and have helped us create some really cool stuff in the office. So please feel free to introduce yourselves.
Hi, thank you, Jessica, for having us. It's so great to be here. My name is Liz, and I've been working with La Coalición, or I've been knowing about La Coalición for about a year. We did a workshop together about a year ago, so it's great to be here.
Thank you for being here.
Hi. My name is Manu. I am a ceramic artist, and I've come to do a workshop here as well at La Coalición and met a wonderful people at a Coalición Gala that we had as well. So yeah,
that was fun.
That was really fun.
I do remember you all dancing a lot.
Yeah, you guys know how to throw like really good parties.
I was a good
really
pachanga.
dance.
Yes.
That was a really good dance.
Despite the rain, we had fun.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. And that's why we came back.
Exactly. And now we have dogs.
And now we're here.
Now we're gonna keep coming back every
Yeah.
time you invite us.
So tell me a little bit about how you got involved with La Coalición, because I know that, of course, we partied together. We made ceramics together. But tell me a little bit of how you came in contact with ICIJ.
So like about a year and a half ago, Javier Hernandez, he's the director here. So he took a class with us at a studio in Mid-City. We're ceramic teachers, and he took like a Dia de los Muertos workshop with his friends, and he really enjoyed it. So we stayed in touch, and then he invited us to do a workshop here. So we stayed connected since.
That's awesome. Connected through art.
Always is the best. I feel like teaching connects you with so many different people, and that is literally why we're here.
Yeah.
Because we taught a class, and that was it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what else have you been involved in? And since knowing ICIJ, what have you learned about ICIJ that you have also been part of or been involved in?
Well, Javier, he's always been like an advocate for immigrants. So I know him from before. Like he's also DACA. I'm a DACA student, so I remember him doing a lot of like press and always like advocating for us. So now that he has like a bigger stage, it's been great to like collaborate in any way that I can. So teaching a class was a way to.
I think that's something really cool about the DACA Mente community, that they're very strong together. And I think that I'm not DACA myself, but I do have friends that are, and I do see that connection very strong throughout the community, right? Like, you know each other, you know who you are, you know what the struggle is, and like you connect on different levels.
Yes.
So it's pretty cool that you connected also on a healing level,
Yes.
like with art and conversation, and then with partying.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. I'd like to learn a little bit more about yourselves as artists and the art that you create and have shared with us and Javier when you met.
So I make a lot of like pottery. I make like pots, and then I draw on them. And I do a lot of like animal illustrations, and the animals symbolize a lot of different things. And also I do a lot of teaching. So I do workshops for the community. I used to be a teacher for different nonprofits around like Skid Row and people that don't have access to the arts regularly. So that's part of my art practice, to like share ceramics with the community.
That's beautiful. I love that. How about you?
I am also a teacher. My pieces are more like centered like storytelling and narrative. So especially like other people's stories. I try to just show other people's stories, because clay just lasts a long time. So I want to make sure that whoever stories I'm kind of just showing, it will last for a longer time. And then I teach at nonprofits. There's a nonprofit in Long Beach called Adventures to Dreams, where it's like an art camp for kids that are not in the best, situations, and they want to, let them know that you can do art as well as part of your, career. They have a garden that they pick their food from, and they go and take care of it every Saturday. So I really, really like teaching there. And I also do like queer workshops, ceramic workshops, where I just, again, bring in the community, just making sure that people can feel clay and feel good about it. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that. Maybe on a personal level, I want to know what these workshops are about. As a queer woman myself, I think that we talked about DACA community and how tight knit that is. I think with the queer community also, we also look for spaces that are for and by queer folks and allies. And so, like, tell me a bit more about that or that perspective, because
Yeah.
I'd really like to learn about that.
So I just started teaching regular workshops like what everybody wants, the wheel,
Yeah.
the hand building. But then I started realizing that a lot of my students were like, well, do you have one that is just for queer people? So a lot of people are looking for a third space, which is, like going to work is your, second space, your home is your first space, but there's never like a free place where you can just be with people. And so I'm always trying to make sure that there's a place that you can find your own people, either Latinos, every community, but we're all queer. And so I really like and enjoy teaching because it just brings a lot of different kinds of queer people that are in their different journeys of their identities, because, like, not everybody's going through the same. A lot of people have been out for a long time, and some people just came out. Through the pandemic also, like, a lot of people have been they don't understand how it is to socialize anymore. And so this has just brought up, like, a lot of, like, you have to socialize, but at least you're doing it around the people that are comfortable.
Yeah, in a comfortable space.
So I really like doing the queer things because it's been sold out ever since I started.
Class.
Yeah. You gotta send me the details. I'll probably be there.
I definitely will send you the details.
We're talking a lot about community. We're talking a lot about different communities. DACA. We're talking about the queer community. How do you see the intersection of all these? I guess all these spaces in immigration. How do you see the intersection of art and immigration, and in your experience and in the work that you produce and create?
You want to?
I feel like I just feel like when you do art, you have to, like, kind of attach it to an emotional level. And so when you feel emotions, that's when people start taking action. And so whenever I try to, show, like, storytelling of other people, you want to advocate to that emotion to make a greater impact. And so when you're telling other people's stories, like DACA, immigration, even the adelanto that you guys are doing, it's like just showcasing that through art and letting people know that you are thinking about it in a different way, in, like, an artistic way. Just it connects people differently. Just allows people to just feel it in a different, like, more, I don't know how to say that, regular level. No, like a personal level. Just a personal level.
Kind of like a safe space.
Exactly.
Where people can feel comfortable about
Yeah.
being who they are, right?
Yes.
So, like, the queer community, the DACA community, even just bilingual community, people that Spanish is their first language, and sometimes we just want to take a class in Spanish, right?
Yeah.
And have the tias and the moms and the abuelitas coming that usually they wouldn't have access to those type of experiences in their own language. So it's about, I think, just, like, giving access and, like, exposing people to this new things, right? Where
Also
we could
meeting so
connect.
many different people, like,
Yeah.
just of all cultures, like,
Yeah.
we have a workshop at POT that is, like, a cultural exploration that actually Liz teaches, and it is just bringing your own to make art.
Yeah.
And that to me is, like, you had no idea that you had that inside until somebody opened a like a space for you to do so.
I think that ceramics have always been with us, and I think it's also an aspect of reconnecting with our cultures, reconnecting with our, I guess, our nature,
Yeah.
Exactly.
our tactile nature,
Yeah.
and it's very healing. And I love everything you said about that. It really gets me thinking, like, what could I make?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it, like, ignites all your senses. It's
does.
just like you have to know what you want to make. It's also, like, the intention of clay. That's why I just fell in love with clay, because you're just like, this is gonna last forever. When I fire it and when I do it, it's gonna last forever. But it's like intentionally touching it, giving it, because it's dirt. If you think about it, it's a mineral that's on the floor that, it's been here forever. And you're changing it and molding it into something that you want to do. And so what is your story and what do you want to tell with it? That's why I feel like I love teaching, because everybody else's stuff is different, even though I'm teaching the same, structure, everybody else is going to do something different because everybody wants to tell their story.
Sounds like you really put your perspective as an individual artist into your teaching, and I think that's the most beautiful thing I think about taking a class in a community, in a space that you get to experience the teacher's perspectives through it, and I think that's just beautiful. And as you're talking about it, I am smelling the clay. I am feeling like my hands cracking from just being super dry.
Little lotion.
Goes a long way. I feel like the graininess of different types of clay. Like, it is, like you said, it's a very like almost visceral experience.
Yeah, you're just
It's like-
aware.
Yeah.
Like it's intuitive, right?
It
Like
is,
they
it
give you a
is.
piece of clay and you just want to start like forming it into something, and then after all these emotions and all these ideas come through, so just having access to that material, it just kind of, you collaborate with the material.
That's
it's like a
true.
really, I think for people that discover clay or like have access to clay, is it's almost magic to have that
Yeah.
connection with earth, and then like
Yeah.
story tell with it, or like tell whatever you're feeling and sharing with the clay. I think it's like a collaboration with it.
Yeah. It's how it's like you said, it's dirt, it's minerals that have been part of the earth for as long as you have, and even longer. And how do you come together to make something together? Like, it's a collaboration, like
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah,
And
and it's
then-
part of us, right? Like the earth, like we're minerals too, and the earth is minerals. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, like I recognize you. Like we're the same.
We are the same.
Like, we are the same. We're
Nice to
just
see you again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful, and it also is so healing. And I think a lot of times in the immigrant community, we grow up with a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain in everyday life. There's a lot of struggle. There's a lot of things that prevent us from sometimes experiencing joy, or prevent people from living their best life, or just even having a moment of rest, because the immigrant community is hardworking, and has to be. And I think a lot of times, like you mentioned, like las tias, las mamás, las abuelitas, like don't have the perspective of, we need to heal to be able to be free, and to be able to honor ourselves. And yeah, I think experiencing that is definitely very healing, and I think very important for immigrant communities to be part of, not just to reconnect, but also just to heal, to be in community and heal together.
Yes.
I remember because I started teaching because of Liz. Like, I started teaching at the community studio, but I was TAing one of her classes, and I remember, and I always know that, every time that someone comes that speaks Spanish, they always want to take Liz's class. And so I would like kind of see what was going on, what was the connection. And the abuelitas and the tias were always saying, like, I used to do this when I was like younger. And obviously when you come to another country, you're not in I'm gonna check out life, you're in a survival mode.
Yeah.
And so when you're coming to these workshops and they're like, my abuelita, her abuelita used to do this, or her tia used to do this, or her whole community was a pottery community in like Oaxaca, Mexico, or something like that. You can tell that she's coming back with memories while she's doing this workshop with you. And so she's, again, telling you a story, even though she's just making a small mug. You have so much knowledge of this person because of what that triggers. So I've really loved, like, every time I'm going to Liz's class, I'm seeing the people being like connected, and they're safe.
Yeah.
I love that. It's just like they're safe. They're in a place where they're like, I can just tell my story in Spanish with other people that are gonna listen to me.
Yeah.
And that just blows my mind
Yeah.
every single time.
And then
I'm in
we
your
play
class.
music. We have
Yes.
like really fun like cumbias, and like we try to. It's like a whole experience.
holistic.
Like the music, the clay. We have snacks, so we make it an experience so that people feel comfortable and like getting out of that survival mode for 2 hours and just like create something. I think that.
That's beautiful. I just also remembered what the taste of clay is from eating snacks.
Yeah.
Yes, like the
Your little
dirty fingers and like
your Cheetos with some dirt. I love it.
The fact that this is like, for me, like many years ago, like I'm 100, like, but it's been about 10 years, right? And and I still remember that so vividly. Like, tells you how much I think folks that are gonna experience this for the first time are gonna enjoy this and remember it. So I think that's, you know, it's an act of resistance to be creative and take time to be connected to yourself and your community.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I hear that a lot from what you were both sharing. What would you say is the impact of art on social justice, and how do you feel about you know, being an artist and also being involved in social justice movements?
I think I have made part of my teaching practice, or yeah, part of my artist practice is teaching, and then just including that and giving access to people. So I think that inclusivity is part of like how I advocate for myself and for others.
Yeah.
Just like giving them access and exposing people from all areas to a new material to express themselves and to feel welcome and safe in an environment that usually wouldn't be welcoming and safe, especially in a different country. You don't see teachers that look like you sometimes, or that have an accent, or that all that. So making part of my artist practice just exposing people to the arts, to clay and to making, and giving them that freedom. I think that's how I kind of connect the social justice and my artistic.
Yeah, inclusivity is very important. Definitely. How about you, Manu?
I just try to. I usually teach children. Is like the reason why I like that inclusivity part also than the teaching, because you see children that also, again, they're in the survival mode, that are like their parents are going through a lot of things and they can not themselves be the children that they are.
Yeah.
They're like worried about what their parents are worried about, filling out forms in English because, you know, the parents don't speak English. So every time that I teach, I also feel like making sure that they understand that, you know, you can just be yourself in this class. I feel like social justice for me, it like, and clay, it's a tool for communication and dialogue, you know, and giving that accessibility to kids and to just people just brings people together, because you are able to throughout like the history of the world, you're using the clay material to tell stories. And so to tell those stories that are things that are happening in their world at that moment, you know. That's why clay to me is just like so permanent. And so being able to like let these kids know, like, whatever you tell us right now will survive you, like past, after you're dead, this is gonna stay. So tell us what it is, tell us the story you want to tell us, you know. No parents, no teachers, no nothing, just tell us what truly is in your heart. And I feel like that, giving that space to kids, and, you know, when I go teach at the nonprofits or wherever I can to do that, it makes me feel so much better that the kids know that, you know, they can express themselves however they want to express themselves.
It's all about inclusivity and empowerment, right? And I think those are two very strong aspects of social justice. You got to be empowered to speak up. You got to feel like you have the power within you to express those things, and that those things are valid, and that you have a space to do it in. So that's beautiful, and I can see that connection within art and other spaces. But yeah, like we've talked about, like ceramics is, I think it's a special kind of medium that really integrates all those things together.
I think clay, it teaches us so many lessons, like life lessons. You learn so much through clay, like about patience, persevere, right? Like you have to work with it and like kind of like wait for it to dry, and you cannot attach a handle if it's too dry or too wet, or you just have to be patient and work with the material and flow with the material. Perseverance, you know, like you cannot
Keep trying.
keep trying and letting go. Sometimes you have to let go of the outcome and just
Start new.
start new. So it's like a lot of life lessons that clay is like such a gentle way to learn those really hard life lessons, right? Like it has a way of teaching us like in a really gentle way, I think.
There's different types of clay.
There's
That
Different
involve
feelings.
different
Yeah.
feelings and different ways to handle it, just like in life, right? Like
Yeah.
cheesy.
But it's
Life
true.
is like clay.
Like,
It is.
yeah.
It really is because it you mold it and shape it however you
Yeah,
want to shape
like
it.
you're in
Exactly.
control
You
of
know.
the
Yeah.
outcome.
And if it breaks, there's the Japanese kintsugi, which you just
Yes.
You
put
mend
things
it.
back together and
With gold.
and it's beautiful, and
Yes.
so it's just like it literally clay just teaches you back to back, lessons. It's just the best material. Sorry,
Even, yeah.
fangirl,
down.
fangirling
We're
here
a
for.
fan of clay, obviously.
Hands down, clay is the best. I agree. If it was something that we could have as like in our pocket, like and carry it around, like it'd be so cool. But I think that there is so much intention that goes into clay that it doesn't need to be something that you carry around. It's something that you do with intention, and you
Yes.
and you set aside that time.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
you don't touch your phone.
Yeah.
And you just enjoy and vibe with it. And like you
Yes.
said, too much water doesn't stick. Too dry, it doesn't stick. And so you got to connect with the material.
And also the
Yes.
stages of clay, like at the end of the day, you can make something, but you have to let it dry. And then once you let it dry, you have to like actually cook it. And then after you put it in the little kiln oven, you have to see. And then it just does so many steps to create something that also teaches you how like life is not like this. Like you
Yeah.
can't just do whatever you want. You just have to go through the process.
It's preparation with the freedom to make mistakes.
Exactly.
And
We're taking notes for teaching. Preparation for
Next lesson.
life lesson in clay.
Yeah.
Preparation with freedom to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It reminds me so much of like planning and like strategic planning for a campaign. Like when we do strategic planning, we start at the beginning, right? Like how are we gonna prepare for this first step?
Yeah.
And then and then after this step goes this, and then once we got to our goal, like how do we maintain that goal? How do we take care of it? And if it breaks, how do we Japanese put it together?
Kintsugi.
Yes.
I love watching those videos. Like
Yeah, it's just truly like going through, even though it's broken, you can still it can still be used in a sense, and it's not even because of the functionality, but it's just because it is like it just is something that is made that you loved and that you want to keep having. So speaking about culture,
we talked a lot about culture.
yeah, we've talked a lot about culture, and I brought some hormigas culonas, or big ass hormigas, big ass ants from Colombia, and I didn't know who to do this with, so I wanted to do it with you guys here in the podcast.
Way to put me on the spot. On
Yeah.
camera. I'm down.
So we cannot say no.
You cannot say no. I've never tried them, even though I'm Colombian. So we're all gonna try them on camera.
Speaking of community, let's do this together.
Let's do this together. I have a tattoo of ants actually, and
Are they
it means
culonas?
community.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
why.
ants. Yes.
Yes,
Got it.
yes.
Answer? Yeah,
They work
that's it.
together.
They work together. They
really hard workers.
They're
too.
hard workers. It's just community. It's all
When
about
one falls, they carry it up.
yeah, and
They
they can
really do.
carry their own weight 3 times. Like to me, it's just like you're resilient.
That's so
Yes,
true.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
It's a
it's-
good symbol.
Oh,
We
I
never
didn't
think
know
of
that.
ants, but they're literally there making huge
They're like
things.
small but mighty.
Exactamente.
That makes me not want to eat.
I know,
them.
but now we have
Out
to
of
eat them.
respect.
Pero
I'm
they're
just kidding.
gone. Okay, ¿están listos?
So maybe we can like embrace the spirit of the
The
ant.
spirit of the ant.
Saca una. Porque no te voy a dar todas.
And so in Colombia, there are hormigas culonas in English.
Oh my god,
Oh my god!
they're huge.
They're big ass ants.
No, this is not an ant.
Sí es.
No, man.
Sí. Sí. Aquí estamos todas muchachas.
Okay, well,
This is giant. This is giant. Yes, yes.
Zoom in.
Everybody get one.
Todos se-
Everybody.
Dani-
Yes,
Dani,
yes,
te
yes, you
toca.
guys.
There's like limbs and there's like a neck that's moving.
Yes, you guys.
Then you have to show the camera.
Behind the camera, there's more. There's
We'll do it after.
the crew needs to.
Jessica's reaction.
Do they have wings?
This
'Cause I
is-
think there's a wing.
It looks like a.
You know what?
First of all, it doesn't look like an ant. It looks like a.
Like a
big
wasp.
bug. Yeah, like a wasp.
Cheers.
It has a
Salud.
tiny waist though.
Salud.
All right. Well, in the name of community.
No.
Community and
Cheers.
hard work and resilience.
Okay. Okay.
Tastes like community
Tastes like community.
and resilience.
I'm not
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not bad at it.
Kind of
Actually.
reminds me of chapulines.
Sí.
Super crunchy. I like that.
Super crunchy. Me gusta.
And it's a little bit of limon side.
Sí, tiene como un like
Chilito.
little yeah. thank you guys for doing this with me, because I had this since I came back, and I'm like, I'm not doing it with anyone except people that are resilient.
We did that.
Put that on camera and can't say no. No, I appreciate it. I love trying new things, and thank you for sharing your culture with me. That is it's an interesting bite.
Yeah,
very reminiscent of chapulines.
See?
Yeah.
It just needs tajin, right?
And it's limón, sal, chilito.
Los mexicanos siempre tratando de cambiar todo con su spice.
I feel like I have like an ant leg in my.
I know.
Just take it out.
But yeah, any last closing thoughts? We've had a great conversation. I've had a lot of fun talking with you all. Thanks for sharing the hormiga culona.
And I brought you guys a little gift.
That's awesome.
I made for this specific place.
Mano del Mar Ceramics. And this is?
I made a little plate of the flower vendor, that is always in the corner when I'm going to the pod studio. And I was like, I need to, again, showcase, immortalize this person.
This person that makes an impact on the community every day. Right?
Every single day, every time he's there.
This is gorgeous.
Thank you.
I love it. I think flower vendors are crucial to our culture, our economy, our everything.
Yes.
So this is really beautiful, and thank you so much.
Of course.
For this is gonna go into our office somewhere where everybody can see it.
Yes, thank you.
Tell me where we can find you, and any lasting thoughts from you, and social media, or where can we keep in touch with you?
Yeah, thank you so much, first of all, for inviting us again and for having us. And you can find some of my ceramic work on Instagram at Liz Ceramics. And I post a lot of my workshops and any activities that I have going on, so we can connect there.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you can find me at Manu del Mar Ceramics on Instagram. Also, my link tree, you'll have all the workshops. We're throwing once a month. And yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you all know, we'll post all the social media handles on our comments so that you can catch up with them and follow. Please don't forget to subscribe and follow us on YouTube, on Spotify, on Instagram, on Facebook, and everywhere. It's been great talking to you both, and have a great rest of your days. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again.
Thank you. Hey, we did it.